and welcome back to Best of the Month. This is where I invite some creators to join me and we all talk about what game we've enjoyed most in the last month. They don't have to be brand new games, sometimes they are, sometimes they're stuff that's just been sat on the shelf for a while and we haven't played it, but we've got it off in this past month and realised why we love the game so much. So without further ado, let's see what some creators have picked this month.
Hi, I'm Barb, MeeplePhD, and my favorite play for September 2024 is Seize the Bean. This is a game where players are each starting up their own coffee shop in Berlin and trying to please the various customers that are in their neighborhood. In the game, you have a board in front of you that is your cafe, and you have two little workers, and that's all you get each round, and then you have a deck of cards that represents the various customers who are coming to your shop. In the first couple of rounds, you have friends and family who are coming, but after that, you are going to be inviting new people into your cafe and having to figure out how to make them happy. For each game, you are going to decide which neighborhood you are going to be opening up your shop in, and for that neighborhood, there are going to be a list of 6 different customer types that you are going to use for that game. And then you're going to find those decks of cards, separate out the customers, the style upgrades, and the pantry upgrades, and shuffle each of those decks together. And so this means that every game is going to be a little bit different. Some of those customers make you share beans with other people. Others just get really happy in line. And some need extra stuff, and they have happy families, which is great, except they might make other customers a little grumpy or tired. So there's just a lot of really cool mechanisms in this game. Each round, you're going to be taking your 2 little workers and placing them somewhere on your cafe board to say what you're doing. And over the game, those are also the spaces where your cards are going to go. And so the various actions that you get to take get beefed up over time. Once you've done your 2 actions, you go into this phase where you are satisfying your customers. You'll have a number of customers depending on how much buzz you have, or hype, I think is what it's called in the game. And so from your customer deck, you're going to deal out that many new cards. And then you need to satisfy them in order that they are in line. So this might be giving them beans for coffee or giving them sugar cubes that represent various treats that you're making. I have really been enjoying this. We've played it before, but being able to get it out a couple times in a month, really digging back into those mechanisms and seeing how it works and trying some of the different decks has been super fun for us. The one downfall in the game is the number of symbols that there are on the various cards. And I understand that a good part of this is to make this language independent, but it can make it a little bit difficult. So we always play with there are 2 lists of all of the symbols, one in the rule book and one in the neighborhood book. And we keep those handy so that we can look them up. But I enjoy the game enough that I don't care about that. I'm willing to look up those symbols and figure them out each game, but it's just something to be aware of. Anyway, that is why Seize the Bean has been my favorite play for September. So I hope you had a great month gaming, and we'll see you next month.
Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. Today we're doing Best of the Month for September 2024. This month it is Herbify. This is by Looping Games. This is, funny enough, quite a big box for what they do. It's a Spanish company. I think it's a Spanish, typically they use Spanish artists as well. I know the designer of 1911, which you can find on my channel. He happened to be the founder of this company. So what you're doing, this is a worker placement game. It's also a city building, tile laying game. You're interacting on a shared board, and you're also interacting when you're placing out your workers because others can benefit. At this point, I'm actually going to bring the board closer to you just to show you what's going on. So what you're doing here is you can do one of 2 different actions. You can basically choose to go on a city area. We're town planners, we're influencers, we're kind of like, I guess, city negotiators. And what we're looking to do is we can get ourselves basic resources. You're bumping up these tracks representing your resources. So like not tech tracks necessarily, they're just showing how much you have. Maximum is 5. Of course, you can see my full video to see how to play this too. And in this instance, what you're doing over here is you're getting yourself one like commerce, or you can get yourself economy or transportation, etc. I think, other things to do with health, those kind of things. And what you also can be doing is you can be choosing to, once you've got enough resources, build out a tile. So once all your workers are out, you can now build out a tile. So you've got some workers out placed up here. If you have any left, they can bring out tiles. And then if they're out, then what you can be doing is you can be retrieving the workers Retrieving the workers is only once you've got your people out, and therefore you can activate what the building does, which can give you benefits. You get points at the end as well. Most points wins. It's been a very interesting game. I know the audio might be a bit off for this one, so I do apologise. But no, it's been very interesting. I do prefer to play a lower player count. It does take not too much space as well, which is a great advantage. And I've played all player counts of fact for 4, I think partially because I think there's a little bit too much downtime. Yes, there's interaction, and yes, it's a finite pool, but I just feel like it's a little tighter and a little bit more interesting as well. So that's Herbify by Looping Games, and I hope you found this of interest. By all means, do let me know. Thank you very much for watching, but for now, back to the table.
Now this month, it's an older game for me that we really enjoyed, and that is Railroad Inc. It's one that I think we got back to the table because of the new Railroad Tiles Kickstarter, and it just made me want to play Railroad Inc. again. So we've got the game to the table, blue being one of my favourite editions. I've got the other 3 up there, followed by green. Oh, they sort of go up and down. Why? Well, the base sort of experience in each of the 4 boxes is pretty much the same. You're rolling these dice. Some have got train tracks, some have got roads, some have got a bit of both, and you're drawing out these networks onto your wipeable player mat. And you're drawing what comes up on the dice, as are your opponents, and you're trying to do the best with what the dice give you. You're trying to connect regions, these outside connections. You're trying to get as much done in the middle. In the challenge editions, there's also bonuses for putting certain things in certain places. And you can get loads of little mini expansion stuff as well. Then, the different versions have their own expansion dice. This one has rivers and lakes, and I find that just really sort of nice, comforting sort of ones. The red one has some destruction stuff where maybe your road can get taken out by a meteor or lava and different things like that. But it's just that core experience of it's nice and easy to teach. We've played it a lot, so we don't need to worry about that. We just get the game to the table, start rolling those dice, and it's just who can use the dice the best. And I really enjoy that sort of game where it's relatively light-hearted and you can just sort of have a bit of a chill while you're playing. And well, I'm excited for Railroad Tiles every time I play Railroad Inc. So I've definitely backed that one, and well, that was my best of the month. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for the creators that joined me on this month's show as well. Links to their channels will be in the description box down below, so as you're going down to subscribe to my channel, why don't you check theirs out as well? And well, until next time, check out other news, reviews and all that sort of jazz here on the channel of Don't Be Bored, and until next month, have a great month gaming.